So, do you recognize any of these men?
So, Albert, eh? No other character in the Thomas franchise has a story quite like Albert. From red to blue, to American to English, to canon to non-canon, to being real, Albert's done it all. Now that I've met him in person, I figured, why not make a video on Alberts, and discuss the engine's many form over the years. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. First off, we've got Audrey's first Albert. Painted red, number 3, and built as an 040, this Albert was an American design and would run on the mid-solar layout. By 1974, however, the Reverend wanted the layout to look more like the Duke the Lost Engine book. To do this, Albert would need to lose his American look. So following a session of sanding, resourcing new parts, and being painted maroon, Albert was finished and looked a lot nicer for the layout, bearing a resemblance to a Falcon locomotive. And a bit later, Albert would be rebuilt again in 1984 and gain an even bigger resemblance to a Falcon. The wheel configuration was changed to an 060 and a new coat of blue paint, and this is the condition it remained. During 2024, I had the honour of seeing this model for myself. The new paint would cover his name and number. Why, you may ask? I'll get back to that. For now, it's time to talk about probably the least remarkable Albert. During the days of the engine's first rebuild, a twin or spare engine was constructed. This was made to be on standby if other engines broke down on an exhibition day. I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but this model may have been made from Albert.
It's Alfred!
This model wasn't meant to be shown much, and fuss isn't a looker, and the model currently resides with the Awdry family. Now remember when I mentioned Albert's name and number being covered by the new paint? This was because of the new Albert constructed. This model was similar to Tim in terms of shape and proportions, though Albert lacked side plates. This Albert had his own job. He would pull a train called the Parliamentary. We can even see him pulling this train on ITV. With this model holding the name and number, it was recognised as the Albert. But that would all change in 2025. The Awdry extravaganza happened this year. The event had many visitors, Sir Handel, Duke and Mike to name a few. Though the most surprising visitors was Albert and Jerry, being portrayed by Tylin and Dolgok respectfully. Then in the lecture that evening, Richard Awdry confirmed the two were preserved following being sold from the Mid-Solar Railway. I'm sure there's more to the story. Like, I thought Albert and Jerry couldn't exist together since Albert stole Jerry's number. Also, it's probably not a fifth Albert, though I like to think it is, and is the actual Albert. And here's my headcanon. On the Skarloey Railway, its two engines, Skarloey and Rheneas, proved to be some of the best. So the Mid-Solar manager decided to build his own Skarloey and Rheneas, similar to the Corus Railway, with number 7 being a replica of Edward Thomas. Once built, Albert proved to be very reliable. Unfortunately, on his way home one night, he would fall off a bridge and was severely damaged. The railway had no money to fix him, so he was sold off. It would take a few years, but he would be preserved and restored, and now lives happily on his heritage line, wherever that is with Jerry. So yeah, that's every Albert explained, at least the Mid-Solar engines. I have to say, this was kind of a hard video to make, as trying to keep track of Albert's history was difficult, though coming up with a story for him was very fun. And I'd like to thank Luke Ryan for his video on the Mid-Solar, and for organising the best weekend of my life. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.